Greetings, everyone. This is an unusual moment in our time, and this moment is an unusual opportunity for showing love to one another and to our neighbors. Last month in my devotions, I focused on 1 John 3, verse 1. See what love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. Just recently, Mike and Deb DeVries shared a video of their precious 4-year-old granddaughter who memorized that verse. And after she had mentioned that we are children of God, she raised her arms and she said, "And that is what we are." If that is what we are, then we have an opportunity as the children of God to lavish one another with love in creative but limited ways. And that's the frustrating thing, because we're not advised to have contact with people in the normal ways that we would like to. So verbal and Facebook, email, texting contact will be important. Here are a few ideas of how we can love one another. First, I think this calls for a younger generation of people to help in new ways. I'll say more about that a little later. It's easy to become self-focused during this time, and I encourage you as care groups to choose someone or a few people in your care group that you can reach out to during this time. First of all, keep in regular contact with your friends and family members, and perhaps create groups on social media. Then call people, especially the elderly, and those who are vulnerable, especially those who are alone. Call them regularly. We might be isolating ourselves for a while, and the stress of isolation and loneliness can begin to wear on people very quickly. When you call, listen to their day's activities and their concerns, and you can brighten their day by sharing something about your day, though it may have been just as boring as theirs. Or share a bit of news or something about your children or grandchildren. Hearing about your day or something refreshing will bring a moment of joy, will help brighten their day. Well, maybe we need to start a new round of good knock-knock jokes or other humorous stories to keep things light. And perhaps Jeremy has a resource for that. Perhaps share a verse or a thought that is helping you through this crisis. Sending a card to someone will help brighten their day. Have your children and young people make a card, or make a card to gather as a family. Send lots of cards. Check with people to see if they need groceries. Now, here's where I envision a younger group of people, a younger generation, helping older people, especially those who are vulnerable. And people who in their 70s and 80s may want to help those who are older and getting groceries, but they need to stay more isolated than usual because they are vulnerable. And now one of the things that we're so very good at is bringing meals to other people. But we may need to, according to some health professionals that I've listened to, bring store-bought food rather than homemade food. I've seen some places that have lots of store-made containers of soup. And before you settle down with Netflix, evenings can be long for people who are alone. And sometimes they are the hardest time. So that may be a good time to call. Communicate that you care for them and that they're in your prayers. Someone once said, The church is not called to do extraordinary things. It is called to do ordinary things with extraordinary love. Now is the time for extraordinary love.